All right, here's my exact 200K webinar framework. And if you think running a webinar in 2025 is still about doing a crazy value stack and dropping the price from $12,000 to 997 only tonight on this webinar, you're absolutely cooked because that's just not how you run webinars anymore. So in this video, I want to break down the exact 14 steps that you need to follow to make a shit ton of money with your webinars. And I want to also show you the exact slides that you can use to hit every one of these 14 steps. So yeah, without any further ado, let's hop straight into it. We start with the hook. So the hook is to capture attention, that not only grabs interest but also creates a big desire for the solution that you offer. So this influences the introduction, the first slide, the landing page, and all the promotional materials. So whatever you put on your organic, on your Instagram, on your YouTube, or on your ads. And these are some of the opening slides that you could use. So how to crush 2024 and build the side hustle or business of your dreams in record time. Follow these 6 steps. Here's a similar one: how to meet and attract any girl anytime anywhere in 3 easy steps. So you could see some similarities between these. You always have exactly what they'll learn in the webinar. So here it's 6 steps, here it's 3 steps, and obviously there's the big goal of what they are gonna achieve from the webinar. So yeah, if you want a starting point, this is a general framework I would follow: how to achieve certain results or desired outcome in your industry or niche without typical hard work or the usual method. Even if you're a complete beginner, or you could put in 3 steps, 4 steps. So yeah, that's for the hook. Next up, we have the pain. So you gotta address the audience's pain points in your webinar, and highlight the problems they face, and how your solution can alleviate these issues. So how you paint these pain points is there's a couple ways. So you could either just go to your story, your own story, of how you were before. You map out all the struggles that you had, and those are probably the same ones that your audience is going through. So they'll be resonating with you. They'll be like, oh yes, those are my exact pains. Obviously there's the after effect of after whatever they're about to learn, you become this. But you also get a chance to paint the pain here. Next up is just vividly talking about something that happened to them. So this one, for example: in the last 30 days, has there been a woman you saw that you were massively attracted to, wanted to speak to, and you did absolutely nothing? Type 1 in the chat if you have. So yeah, again, talking directly to their pain and whatever they have experienced. Or you could simply just list out the pain points with as bullet points of what they're probably going through. So yeah, these are some of the methods you can use and the specific slides for that. Next up, we have the tease. So you want to create anticipation by teasing the benefits and outcomes of your solution. So use open loops, and use open loops to keep your audience engaged and wanting to learn more. So you can do this with, again, some different methods. Here we have my goal for today in our small amount of time together tonight. My goal is to make a big impact in the following ways. So you just get them excited. You just tease that what they're about to learn is gonna give them A to ABC. So the next slides of this would just be I'll tell you exactly how you can start this model, why this model is the best, and just get them excited for whatever the body of your webinar is, and most importantly, what the outcomes are gonna be once they achieve, and yeah, how they will change after tonight. Here's an example of another one. So I told you that by the end of this, you'll know exact blueprint of how to meet, attract any girl anytime anywhere. Again, just the big promise, and get them excited that they're about to learn all this for by the end of this webinar. And here you can also squeeze in the, for those of you who stay until the end, there's a bonus. So if you're offering a lead magnet, which you absolutely should, here's where you can squeeze it in and let them know that there's a bonus at the end, so they actually stay. Next up, we have excite. So you want to paint a vivid picture of the potential positive outcomes as well. So we did the pains before. Now it's time for the positive outcomes. So if you remember, this was also partially done with the after effect already, but you can do that again, and you should do it again in a different way. And I'm about to show you exactly how you can do that. So let me take Shelby Sapp first. This was actually from Shelby Sapp's webinar. She's absolutely crushing it. And what she actually does on her webinar is, she has everybody close their eyes and literally for, I'm not really sure how long it was, but literally for I'd say even like 5 minutes, everyone had their eyes closed and she was just explaining or, painting the dream outcome of most of the people on there. So she was telling about, she was talking about how, you wake up in your dream apartment, exactly what you see, exactly what you smell, exactly what you feel. And yeah, this way, every single one was just super, super excited. They saw exactly how they would feel in, their dream outcomes. And yeah, just, get a taste of how that feels. Next up, what you can do is also, show a lot of testimonials that, once you get whatever you're about to learn, these are, the results you get, either money, lifestyle, and, you can also do this by showing testimonials and, whatever outcomes they got, how they went from A to B. You can see that here too. The XYZ industry is changing lives. This business has given me and my others and many others our dream lives. It can do the same for you if you're ready to take action. So yeah, we make them excited and let them know that what they're about to learn can result in this, this, and this. So number 5, position. You want to establish yourself as the authority. So this is one of the 3 sales that you have to make during your webinar. So I've been talking about this a couple times, but I'll tell it again. Number 1, the first sale that you got to make is in the mechanism. So that's, in the whatever your method of, making money, having better relationships, getting more fit, whatever your mechanism is. So that's the sale number 1. Sale number 2 is you gotta sell them on, yourself, that you are the right person and, the authority in the space qualified to solve their problems. So that's you. And the sale number 3 is themselves. So you gotta sell them on the idea that, they can actually do it too. And it's not only for, the special people or, someone who's incredibly talented or smart. So you do this simply by, talking about your own journey. So here could be a picture of, again, you before, how, dumb you were, how you didn't know anything, how you were in the same exact position, and how you were able to, get to your, um, desired situation or, their desired situation, which you are in right now. And you obviously want to show other people's too. So, you show all your testimonials, your students, and making it clear that you've been able to help them, you've been able to help yourself, and not just you, but your students as well. And then you can also do this. The majority of our students had basically seen zero success with making money online until they came to us. So obviously positioning yourself as the authority, as even a complete beginner was able to make money with them. So obviously you probably know what you're talking about. You don't need tons of capital, technical skills, or prior experience. All you need is some open mind and some urgency. So this is both selling on yourself, that they came to us and they made money, and it's also on themselves because you don't need capital, you don't need technical skills or prior experience. You can do it as a complete beginner. All right, next up, number 6, we have the paradigm shift. So you want to introduce a paradigm shift that completely changes your audience's perspective. Basically think of it as the one thing that needs to change in their mind in order for them to really believe that what you have is the only solution for whatever problem they have. So this could be done through a roll call. So you just state the whatever limiting belief they have, the most common one, and you just tell them the truth. You just break that limiting belief, you change their paradigm, and you have them see the other side of the coin, or the right side of the coin, or the side of the coin that you want them to see. Another example here is the aha moment, which is the same thing. And here it's basically I was visiting one of my best guy friends from high school. I asked him what he does. He said sales. this was the least charismatic, least salesperson guy I have ever known. So I asked him what type of sales, and he said high ticket sales. So this is from Shelby Saps, and basically what happens here is she basically breaks the paradigm of, a normal salesperson needs to be salesy. They need to take, cold outbound calls. They need to knock doors. They need to talk to people that, don't want to talk to them. But she talks about how she learned out about high ticket sales and how that is completely different. How, you don't need to be salesy. How you can be doing all that from a laptop from anywhere in the world. How leads are coming to you. You don't have to do any outbound, and how high commissions you get from basically talking just over on Zoom. And yeah, she just breaks the limiting belief of thinking that sales is this way, when in reality it's this way, all rainbow and sunshine. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. Next up, we have number 7, which is going to be the mechanism. So here you want to focus on the sale number 1, which is the mechanism. So, here's is where you actually drop the sauce, and where you, give them some information for them to actually get to the desired outcome. So, the specific, the sauce, what I would say here. And yeah, if you are struggling with this, just think about, some key 4 steps that they need to understand, they need to do to get to, whatever goal they have. So let's say if it was SMMA, the first step is to, I guess, learn, a service. So you could teach them slightly how to, run ads. Number 2 is, outbound. So you tell them some outreach strategies. Number 3 would be actually closing the clients. So, you run them through a sales script. And, number 4 would be retaining the clients, for example. So that could be for an, SMMA class. Just think about 4 most important steps that, they need to understand. And you get into it by, make sure to do this one, which is, just before you get into the sauce, make them all comment in the chat, be interactive, make them excited, make them, get tiny little commitments, which we'll be getting into in number 8, but you just want them to be commenting a lot under your webinars. And you also want to make sure to, tell them what the 6 steps are going to be, or the 3 or the 4 that you're about to present. So number 8, commitment. So you want to secure micro commitments throughout your webinar, and you want to encourage the audience to commit to use the information you provide. So a good way to do this is, you can come up with a little quote. I don't remember how exactly it was, but it was something like, a wise man once said, if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. So the next slide would be, let's make a deal. Agree to treat this information as if you just paid $2,000 out of your own personal bank account. If you agree, again, say yes, have them, spam yeses in the comments. This way you get the micro commitment of them, actually paying attention and, implementing. At the end, you ask them, if the imaginary investment was worth it, and they'll be, saying, oh, yes, 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 because you just provided them with so much value. And another thing is, throughout the sauce portion of the webinar, you want to, after each step, you want to ask them, if they could do that, or if they, understand everything, and you want them to, again, spam yes, 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 and, have the micro commitments in their head that, yes, they can actually do it. It's not that hard. And lastly, you could have a slide like this. The reality, if you only use a fraction of what you learned today, do you feel like you've taken a leap toward being able to start whatever business and scale to 10K a month? Again, you want them to spam yeses in the chat and just have them realize how much value you've been able to provide to them. So next up, number 9, smoothly transition from teaching to selling. So what you want to do here is recap the value provided and introduce an offer as the next natural step. So over here, it's basically key takeaways. So key takeaway number 1, key takeaway number 2, you just summarize whatever you've learned, and then you start transitioning. And the most common way is, now you've got all this information, but there's all these other problems that you might face. So you'll still feel lost, you won't have any accountability, you'll fool yourself into thinking a different model will be easier. So shiny object syndrome. What if there was another option? What if there was an option where I could serve you at my highest possible level? A chance to go more in depth, to connect, together, not just once, what if I had more responsibility to your success and had more obligation to help you actually get to results? So, all this happening, oh no, the route B of, taking what you've just learned is going to be super hard. It's going to be, not that probable. It's going to be a lot more painful. And this is another way, you just describe how typically it would go. Or, there's option A, there's the red pill and or blue pill. I'm not sure which one was the better one, but you get my point. And that's where you present the offer. So this offer should absolutely feel like the next natural step. So, they've learned all this now, but but you show them all the problems that could happen from here. Even though they know all that, there's still all this, this elephant in the room. And to fix that, simply, there's the offer. So you present the offer and, all the bonuses. So there's a couple of ways to do this. Instead of, facing all these problems, what you could do is join the winning team, and, here you would present the offer. Or, I knew there was a better way, and here, I spent the last 12 months developing She Sells Academy. And, after you present the offer, you want to tell them exactly what's inside, what they get. Now, here's where it's different from, the typical webinar that was, ran in the past, where you would give them the price and, demonstrate insane value. You would tell them they get this for $297, $2,907 usually, but only tonight you get it for $100. That's just, not working anymore. What I like to do instead, here you can see an example of that. I mean, obviously it, some of those can still work. I'm not saying it's completely cooked. But even this one, you don't have all the prices of, how much it would cost usually, because nobody actually believes in that anymore. And so what the actual meta is in 2025 is not, direct to offer webinars, but it's book a call webinars. I've tried it in the past, and it was always that a book a call would make me a lot more money. And I've seen all the big people are also running a book a call webinar. So here actually is Shelby Sapp again. She positions this very well, as why this is a call and not a checkout page is because it's private mentorship program. It's not one cookie cutter solution. We got to know that you're a good fit. We got to know that we can actually help you. So that's why we want to hop on a call with you. In reality, it's just that you're just gonna collect a lot more cash because you get the chance to sell high ticket instead of just a mid ticket offer. That's what you want to do. I would always focus on a book call rather than a direct to checkout. I've just, in my experience, it's just been working better. And for a lot of people that I know, it's also working better. So instead of, doing the crazy value drop, you just explain what the call is about and why they should book today. So, that stays the same. You still want to have bonuses, of course, and, give them a reason to book on, today, tonight. You want to give them some bonuses, a discount maybe for being on the webinar. Obviously, you need, scarcity, but, it's not the crazy value stack where the price drops from 12,000 to 5,000 because 500, because again, nobody really believes in that anymore. Anyways, the scarcity, could be done by, spots. I only have 10 spots, or, only 20 people are gonna get XYZ bonus, or, this offer is actually only open for XYZ. I mean, make it believable, make it actual scarcity. Don't just come up with some random bullshit, because again, we're in a trust recession. Trust is the new currency. Literally, what you want to do is just have people trust you. So don't use some random scarcity. Be honest, and yeah, have actual real scarcity. Next up, the risk. The good thing about booking calls is there's not that much risk. Whereas here they would have to pull their credit card out. Here you just fill out an application form, book a call. There's no risk for you, and so that way you don't need to do any crazy risk reversals. Yeah, but I mean, you still of course can. You could frame it, for example, like this. The absolute worst case scenario, you do what I say, you fuck up tremendously, you waste 3 hours of your day and somehow get no results. You get your money back and act like nothing has happened. Or after that, you go into the best case scenario and you paint what all the benefits could be. Another way you reassure the people is by running a Q&A, which is a very important part. And actually, let me add this step number 15, which is Q&A. Do a Q&A. It's literally an equivalent of, objection handling on a sales call, and likely, you just answer one question. There's a high chance that, a lot more people have the same question. So, literally answering that one question could result in bunch of more calls booked. So yeah, it also gives you a chance to actually interact with the people, and again, build a lot more trust, show them, how competent you are, how you can answer on the spot, and you're not just, recording a video that's scripted. So yeah, these are the 15 steps that you need to have inside your webinar. I've given you the exact slides that you could use as well. Obviously, this is not, all of them at all. There's a lot more slides, but, just focus on these 14 steps, create slides around those, and, you could use some of these as well of how to, actually get into the topic. But yeah, I hope you guys got some insane value out of this video. Now, if you're a coach and you obviously don't want to go through all this on your own, or you just simply want some help on it, there's a link down below in the description. You can go and, book a call with me. I can help you out. We can hop on a call, see how I could implement this for you and, your own offer. And yeah, if you enjoyed, drop a like. This entire channel is just about webinars, and I'll be just dropping sauce on Webby. So, if you're interested in that, drop a sub, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.